that's what I do in the morning. It's usually my morning routine, waking up, looking in the mirror, pretending there's an audience of one, because that's how we're living these days. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Around the world, I know we've got people calling in or clicking in or whatever you call this from all over. So thank you for getting up early, staying up late, or turning off a game that I'm sure you're probably wanting to watch. I have my games set up right here on my iPad, so if I look this way, I'm just trying to keep up with the times. No, I'm super stoked to be here. I brought a friend. Shouldn't talk much, but sure looks good, doesn't she? Huh? Hey, what? I know. Yeah, we're just gonna do a little. You good? You need makeup? No? Happy? Okay, all right. Probably needs an oil change. Anyway, happy to be here, guys. Thank you for showing up. And I really can't wait to see you all in person someday soon. Hopefully sooner than later. I definitely miss that interaction and that connection and that and those smiling faces. So anyway, this will have to do, and let's get after it. I know we've come a long way as far as when we last saw each other, or if we have ever seen each other, in discussing what has recently aired. Now, for some of you, maybe you haven't seen, or maybe you haven't caught up, maybe you're not up to speed with what is played out there, what is aired out there. But I know that for most of you, we are all caught up with episode 1519, which just aired a few days ago. I just saw it as well, the final cut, a couple of days ago, and I was happy. I thought we looked pretty great getting our asses kicked by God. But that was a fun day of filming, and I thought Rob did a fantastic job, and all around, Jake being there, and Alex, Jared, and the whole gang. So that was a lot of fun. We only have one more episode left. What could possibly happen? We've knocked off God, knocked off Billy. Death is gone. Lucifer's gone. Michael's gone. Who's left? It's just us. But that's what one more episode is here to tell you. So I can't wait to see what you guys think of that next episode. That's going to be a big one, and wraps the whole series up. And that's it. No more, no mas, until until they call and say, "Hey, can we get that car back?" And then I'll say, "Ha ha, no." Anyway, let's take some questions. I know we've got limited time, and there's an unlimited amount of questions here. So I'm just going to start right off the bat with looks like a Nikki MB. Hey, Nikki MB, you're out there. Nikki says, if Sam and Dean had been asked to assist on a case outside of the U.S., where would they have done it? And where would you have liked to film? Well, I think that Sam and Dean, they haven't gone outside the U.S. Very often. I know they went to Scotland that one time, but I don't know that they've been too far out of the continental U.S. And that is largely in part because we couldn't take the show there just from a budgetary standpoint. And so the writers are very smart. At the very beginning of the show, I don't know if you remember a little episode called Phantom Traveler. Dean was a terrible flyer. So the idea of getting in a plane and flying for hours upon hours, I don't think was something that Sam would have ever been able to talk Dean into, which is another reason why they kept driving this sucker around. It made life a heck of a lot easier for Dean, and they were also able to bring the kind of things that they would need to fight whatever they were fighting. I'm not sure that the airport security would allow the stuff that's in that trunk through the conveyor belt. That would have been an interesting episode, though. And would I have liked to film it? Yeah, I would have. Where would we have liked to film it? Anywhere. I think just going somewhere would have been great. There's a lot of great stories and folklore in many different countries out there. I mean, you could just throw a dart and start packing, but packing all that stuff, that might have been a funny episode. I would have liked that one. All right, moving on. Mary J. Hi, Jensen. My question is, can you please tell us about your new project with Daniil? Love you guys infinitely. Thank you, Mary J. Yeah, so Daniil and I have a new production company under the Warner Brothers studio umbrella. They have graciously asked us to form a company and start finding projects that speak to us, that we really like, and that we want to produce into TV shows for broadcast television, streaming platforms, you name it. We've taken a lot of meetings, talking to a lot of producers, a lot of directors, a lot of writers, even actors, and we've got a couple of projects that we're working on right now. Obviously, with the virus and COVID and everything, that has slowed our industry down to a crawl. So things are moving real fast as far as the industry goes, but things are still moving, and we've got some ideas, and we've got some people working on ideas, and hopefully those ideas come to light, and I can share them with all of you. When they do, I will, and I hope you'll follow me there. So that's what's up with that. Let's talk to, now I'm just going to pronounce it, but it looks like Mlikmz. Did I say that right? Did I get that right? MLIKMZ. I hope that's an acronym. It says, what has supernatural taught you during these 15 years? Well, how to keep a car older than I am running. That's one thing, because she's pretty old. I had this conversation and had this question with another group of folks, and I would say that there's probably not a lot in my life that has that I've learned and has shaped me more than my experience over the past 15 years. It's been something that I never imagined in the best way possible, and it has given me lifelong friends, and it has given me lifelong lessons that I'm will be forever grateful. And yeah, to try and list a few, we would be here all afternoon. So just say that yes, it has changed me indefinitely. So all right, moving right along here. Anna Marie FSS. Here we go. She says, "Hey, I'm Anna from Brazil. What's your favorite song at the moment? Love you. Obrigado." Thank you, Anna. Favorite song at the moment. Ooh. I listen to a lot of music when I was filming and traveling, and I haven't been doing that a lot lately. It's been a lot of Disney movies with the kids, and a lot of pop music, dancing around in the living room. I try to throw on a Zeppelin record. I try to throw on some Allman Brothers, and it usually results in 3 screaming children wanting to hear somebody I don't listen to. So, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna go into my little iPhone here, look and see what the last song that I downloaded would be. Well, no kidding. It's I don't know if you see that. Yeah. Soldier Boy, Elvis. There you go. Moving right along. Let's see. We've got Jewel Winchester. Juhl Winchester. All right. Hi, Jensen. I'm Juana from Brazil. What was the funniest situation when you got lost in the role of Dean? Example, I woke up to hunt monsters. Funny situation. I don't, there were a lot of funny situations when it came to playing Dean or to being Dean on screen. But every day was kind of a funny situation. I don't think there was any situations that followed me home, if that's kind of what you're asking. If I dealt with personal situations that were like Dean, no, none really that were like of the supernatural world. I think if anything, it's just been since I've had baby home, just making sure that that engine turns over and that the muffler's not knocking and that those doors stay squeaking the way they are. That's important to me. So, all right, let's see. Moving on to Stephanie Ailman. Stephanie Ailman. She says, if you had the chance to do another crossover episode, which show would you want to be with and why? Can be live action or animated. So yeah, the only crossover episode we ever did was with Scooby-Doo. I know there was a lot of talk of doing a crossover episode with some of the other shows that were on the CW that had kind of a similar theme as Supernatural, or at least dealt with certain kinds of beings that we dealt with on Supernatural, but that never really happened, largely because of just a logistical nightmare. But another show. I mean, look, I think it would always be fun to cross over with The Walking Dead, but that ship may have sailed. And I think it would have been fun to cross over with what's another episode? What's another show? Yeah, I mean, look, I always thought we should have been with Vampire Diaries and should have helped send that show off into the sunset. And I don't know, maybe they can find a way to bring us back to the last few episodes of Walking Dead. All right. Soul the B-Day Girl. Any movie, series, or book to recommend us that you discovered in quarantine? In Argentina, we continue in isolation. Well, thank you, Argentina, because I have continued in isolation myself, unlike a lot of Americans who feel that there's some sort of political angle to a virus. I don't see how that could have been a worldwide conspiracy. So I am trying to follow the science and the data as much as possible, and me and my family have been locked down basically since March. But it's not easy. And to be honest, movies, TV shows, I've tried to finish shows that I started a while back and then just never had the time. So let's see, what did I'm just motoring through The Haunting of Hill House. I finished up, obviously, The Boys season 2. Knocked that out pretty quick. Movie-wise, haven't been to the movies in a while. And usually the movies that I watch are generally kid-friendly. I'll give you a kid-friendly movie that I actually rather enjoyed. The Willoughbys. Thought that was pretty cool. That's all I can help you with. Moving along, we got Kaltman, Cal T. Man. Sure. If you could go back to season 1, what would you tell yourself? Also, Thanks for the last 15 years. Well, thank you for watching. Thanks for chiming in. And if I could go back to season 1, what would I tell myself? That's a good question. Don't eat so much on camera, because they're gonna do that to you for the next 15 years. That was kind of on me. I probably should have paced myself a little bit more with Dean's eating habits, but you know, at the end of the day, I think it made for some good TV, so I'm not overly upset about that one. 15. I mean, look, season 1. I think I would go back and tell myself exactly what I did tell myself in season 1, which was just keep your head down and do the work, and don't try to focus on, you know, if the show is going to continue, or if the show is getting good reviews, or what the critics are saying. Keep your head down, do the work. It's a good story. It's a good character. The fans are going to find it. So just keep motoring. And that's what I did. And here we are 15 years later. So I think I'd probably go back and just say that to myself, maybe a little bit more eloquently. There we go. All right. Moving along. Samira Winchest. All right. Another family member here. She says, hi, Jensen. I live in Iran. I'm so excited to see you. My question is, can you tell us about Soldier Boy and give us some information? Sure. So Soldier Boy, new character on The Boys, that I will start playing in the new year. And one of the reasons why I've got this happening, I was asked to grow it out, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, it's getting to the point where I don't know if I can handle it, but so maybe they're just doing that as like a hazing thing for the new guy, but I'm gonna feel like Misha. I'm gonna be the new guy coming in season 3. He came in season 4, but still, it's gonna be weird. I'm about to call him and ask him, like, you know, what did you do? Tell me exactly what you did, because I don't want to do that. That's probably how that conversation will go. And then what else was getting? Yeah, so information. Soldier Boy. He was the original superhero in this particular world of superheroes. And if you're familiar with the show, you know that the superheroes in this particular show are not the most model citizens. They have their issues, and that is really what this show explores. And so I'm sure that I'll be dealing with a lot of really messed up issues with Soldier Boy. What those are, I have yet to see or read. I got my first script actually yesterday, and it was just kind of a basic introduction of the character. So it hasn't really peeled back layers just yet to where I get a good understanding of who he is. But I'll be doing that in the next few weeks, in the next coming months, trying to really dial in who this guy is and how messed up he is. So, all right. Let's see. To Sid Stojov. Sid Stojov? I could be pronouncing that right. I'm gonna ask your question here. It says, who's been your favorite big bad on the show? Ooh, favorite big bad. We've had a lot of really, really good ones. I mean, I don't have a favorite. I'm gonna put it out there because I've got too many favorites. I mean, you could go down the list of Chuck and Billy and Amara and you know, there's again the Crowley, and the list goes on and on and on. I will say that there's one. I'll just pick one today. Let's go with Mark Pellegrino's Lucifer. I did often find myself doing scenes with him and forgetting my lines because I was watching his performance, and that's I think that's just a testament to Mark and how much fun he had playing that character. So definitely one of my tops. Okay, DLM Johnson. When you have a creative block, what's your go-to activity to work through it? Ooh. Get up, walk around. Yeah, get up, walk around. I know that like this is something that I run into quite often when I'm directing. Because it's I like to say that the script is basically a problem. It's like think of it as like a math problem, and it's up to the director to solve it. How are we going to take what's on the page and make it visual on camera? And so you have to kind of solve those problems on your own, and then you have to tell the people what you need and the tools that you need in order to create the solution. So in the problem solving process of directing, I certainly would run into kind of a lot of that creative block of like, what do I want to see here? How do I want to see it? How could I make that, the best shot? How could I make it efficient? And I would just a lot of times have to get up and walk around and pace. And if it just wasn't coming to me, then I'd just put it down and I'd walk away from it. And I'd go watch the TV for a little while, or I'd flip on a record, and I'd cook myself something or whatever. I think you just gotta get your mind off of situations. And generally, as soon as you stop thinking about what you're trying to figure out, the solution presents itself. So there you go. Thea loves you. That's your handle. Thea loves you. I love that, because then you're just giving out love to everybody. It's just, hey, it's Thea loves you. I like that. That's cool. All right, Thea. With the exemption of original Dean, which version of Dean has been your favorite to play? Sending love from the Philippines. Well, sending love right back. Favorite Dean. There wasn't a whole lot of variations with Dean. Sam got to play quite a lot of different varieties of Sam, and he also got to play a lot of different, I'd say, or at least more characters than Dean ever did. But I'd say one of my most enjoyable kind of versions of Dean was the Dean that we found in Purgatory. Now, I know that's still kind of the same Dean. It's just he's in a different situation, but it was a version of him that was outside of what we normally see. And so I'd probably say the Purgatory Dean. Yeah. All right. SPN made me. Your handle is SPN made me cry. So sorry about that. Wasn't always our intention, but sometimes it was. So your question is, how many flannels do you own? Well, personally, enough. Dean, too many. It's really, I just own this one. And then through the computer, I'm able to change the color combo. So today I felt black and gray. Tomorrow, I don't know, maybe green and blue. But I've actually had that question before. How many flannels do you own? And my answer is enough. There we go. Next one, Gee Whiz. Jensen, how are you doing? Is it a big adjustment to have SPN over? Do you think the long COVID delay has helped or hindered that process? Well, Gee Whiz, I'm doing all right. I'd sure love to get back to a lot of the things that we aren't really able to do right now. And I'm excited when that day comes. But until then, it's just been, you try to make the most of what your situation is. And I think that uh, if you know if you got a good if you got some good people in your life, you got a good head on your shoulders, and you can try to figure things out and keep yourself busy, keep yourself entertained. So I've been trying to do just that. And I've got three young kids that keep me pretty occupied. So, but yeah, no, we're doing good. We're doing good, and uh, I think that the COVID situation um, has certainly, as far as it relates to supernatural, um, I would almost say that it has um, softened the blow of it being over, and that's because the show ended. Had the show ended and everything was normal, and I think it would have been a much more acute kind of situation, um, because everything would have been the same, but this one big, huge part of my life would have been gone. The fact that COVID happened, it was like the whole world changed for everybody. And so I kind of feel like we're all in this together. Not everybody's life just kept on going perfectly normal, and then mine changed drastically. Everyone has changed. So I kind of feel like it's taken the sting out of Supernatural being over, COVID. And I'm not, obviously I wish that COVID was gone and I wish it would go away. Um, but as of right now, I guess the silver lining for me personally is that it is certainly taken the dramatics out of Supernatural being over, more so than I thought. Had things been normal. So there you go. All right, Lorena Minotto. Lorena Minotto. Hi, Jensen. Which actors did you get inspired at the beginning of your career? Um, hmm. I mean, it was more actors that I had probably grown up watching, um, that were influential for me without me even knowing it. Um, like Harrison Ford, um, Bruce Willis, Kevin Costner. Um, as far as like those action adventure uh, guys, and then you go into looking at that from a comedy standpoint. I grew up watching the Pink Panther movies. I grew up watching Jerry Lewis movies. Um, I think there's a lot of performances and certainly actors' careers that have inspired me, or at least helped shape me, just from exposure to them at a young age. And that's those are kinds of some of the lessons, or the unintentional lessons that I learned early on, that I lean on quite a bit, as I navigate through this career of mine, because I never had formal training as far as acting or scene study or character study or anything like that. So my acting study and scene study, character study, has just been real life, and watching other people perform. Yeah. So, all right. Uh, Gailed it. Gailed it. Your question: what was the final day on set like? Did you and Jared do anything to celebrate? By the way, I see the comments happening here, but I can't read that fast. So I would love to respond. No, I can't even read the usernames. So I'm just gonna say thanks for all of that. Okay, so nailed it. What was the final day on set like, and did you and Jared do anything to celebrate? Yes, we celebrated with a very, very old bottle of scotch. Because what else do you do? And the final day, it was interesting, and I can we'll probably unpack this over the next 15 years of just what it was like going into that final week, what it was like the final episode. The final day specifically was it was not as tearfully emotional as I had thought it might be. Instead, there was like it was more kind of tears of joy, so to speak. And I kind of shared that with Jared early on. I said, "Look, man, I'm emotional, but it's not this kind of like mournful emotion. It's not like we're losing something or we're putting something to rest. To me, it felt more of a celebration of what we had done. It was more of a reflection of this 15-year journey that we had taken, and kind of taking a pause and reflecting on that, and trying to look back and see just how far we've come, and look at this family that has been built, and we got to be a part of that. And that was a special moment, and we kind of took a moment to ourselves, just the two of us. And you'll see this in the next episode. But we took a moment in this beautiful setting, and just kind of thanked each other for sharing that journey with each other. And that was a pretty special moment. That was pretty cool. Something I'll never forget. CLA _ Okay. Is there any habit, expression, saying, or gesture you've picked up from Dean? No, but there's a ton that Dean picked up from me. Mani Valeska, 87. Hi, I'm Moni. Let's go with Moni. Sorry if that's wrong. Apologize. I'm nervous. Me too. Would you ever get a tattoo in memory of Dean? Yeah, I would. I actually talked about it. Maybe not necessarily of Dean specifically, but the show. I know there's a few of the crew that went out and got one that we'd all talked about getting together, and then COVID kind of made it a little difficult to do that. But yeah, I might still do that. I might still get that. So I'll let you know. Ale002. Hi, Jensen. I'm Alex from Mexico. Okay, so ALE, not, or Ali02. I'm Alex from Mexico. My question is, which is your favorite creature from the show? I love you. Thank you, Alex. Sending love right down there to Mexico. Favorite creature from the show? Ooh.